Hey there, it is Nicholas King here, your Chief Thinking Mechanician. Mechanician doesn't work, does it? Anyway, how you going? I wanted to do this video. Actually, this video is done about 2 years after this blog post that you'll be reading was published. But I wanted to go back to it because it was one of the first blog posts I wrote when I started the Thinking Mechanics website. And it was an interesting perspective that I got about the way that we think. And that perspective is this. We have a very good friend of ours who works at a women's hospice, and they get quite a lot of clothes dropped off at the women's hospice because a lot of the women in the hospice have young children. And some of those clothes are taken and some of them are not. So she takes those clothes and brings it round to our house where I have 3 young children who may want the clothes. And we kind of go through the clothes, and she also drops off food as well. And we say, oh, that clothes looks good and that clothes that doesn't look good. And then we go through the food and we say, well, that's got quite a lot of sugar, we won't use that. And that's pretty healthy, we'll use that. And we kind of go through this sifting, sorting process for what's good for us and what's not good for us. And then that got me thinking about our thinking. And before Thinking Mechanics, you know, I didn't really have a perspective on thinking. And so a thought would just come in and I suppose I'd just let it be there, and it may stay, it may go. Whereas now I understand that we can police our thinking like we would police what we feed ourselves in terms of food, how we dress ourselves, what clothes we wear. The same process can occur with our thoughts. And why would we want to do that? Well, because you know, what you choose to think is your choice. But the thoughts you allow to remain in your head are the ones essentially that will be used. And they will have an influence on a few things, and it will have an influence on the way that you act, it will have an influence on the way that you speak, and it will have an influence on the way or the things that you believe about in the world. So like we would police our diet, like we would police the clothes that we wear, we can also police the thoughts that we have, because they are so influential on ultimately how we behave in the planet, in the world, and then how the world responds to us. And essentially that is the recipe for what your life is. So it was an interesting perspective I got. I think the blog post I did was about 2 years ago, but it was an interesting perspective. And I kind of go back to that a few times, especially when I get kind of crazy thoughts going on. I think, no. I don't need to think that. That can just get out. I'll throw that one away. Don't need it. And so I hope that gives you a perspective on the fact that you can police your thinking and why that's important. Plenty more to come. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know what challenges that you have when it comes to how you manage your thoughts and problems that you've got with your thinking. Until the next time, think well, think healthy. Over and out. See ya.